Rawteur. The rumor mill is spinning fast this week with theories about why Jordan Peele's next movie was removed from Universal's official upcoming releases list. Now, at first, I thought it was the People Under the Stairs remake that, you've been hearing about for years. Like maybe they were just trying to keep it under wraps, even though, as I said, we've been hearing about it for years. But it's actually listed on his IMDb as a movie he's producing, not directing. So it wasn't that. Well, then, in that case, what we actually have here is one of the most successful writer-directors of the last decade quietly vanishing from Universal's release calendar in August 2025. There's been no press release or trade scoop. The movie is just gone. Now, I'm going to say something that might get me yelled at. But I think Jordan Peele is slowly becoming M. Night Shyamalan. Hear me out. Because you know the motif. A few notable bangers, but then everything, all the rest of it is just kind of mid, right? And that's really why I'm hesitant to drop $40+ to go see his new movie, Him. But again, I digress. If you're a fan of Jordan Peele's work or someone who's been following the studio game, you probably noticed something else. And that's that the movie that was released in his original slot was Nosferatu. And that was directed by Robert Eggers and released by Focus Features, which is a Universal label. That movie did great. Critics loved it. Horror fans loved it. And it made headlines and grabbed tons of attention. And, just like that, the conspiracy machine started to kick in and Universal replaced Peele was the narrative, right? Focus Films hijacked Jordan Peele's date. Peele got booted to make room for something shinier, right? But none of that lines up with what's actually happening behind the scenes. Clap that hype button. It's been working. It spreads this video faster and keeps updates hitting your homepage first. This isn't a story about betrayal. It's a story about timing, about contracts, and about a movie that was never ready in the first place. See, back when Universal laid out its release calendar, Jordan Peele's next movie was penciled in for December 25th, 2024. It's a huge slot. Christmas Day is prime real estate. It's the kind of date you only give someone with a track record, a proven track record. But as the months passed, there was nothing. We never got a teaser, not even a title or a synopsis, just untitled Jordan Peele film. At the same time, Robert Eggers had already finished the prestige horror remake Nosferatu. It stars Bill Skarsgård, Lily Rose Depp, and Willem Dafoe. There was a trailer, the press tour kicked in. The film was ready to go. So Universal made the only call they could. They gave Nosferatu the date. It was a smart move, and the movie landed well. It gave Focus Features their biggest horror launch in years. But because it happened so quietly, without any public update on Peele, people assumed one director got replaced by another. However, the truth is much simpler. Peele's movie wasn't in production, while Nosferatu was. One was ready, one wasn't. Now, as of fall 2025, Peele's next project still doesn't have a title. There's no cast, there's no crew, and no start date. See, historically, he averages about 3 to 4 years between his film releases. That's his rhythm. He writes, develops, rewrites, and doesn't shoot until the version's locked. His last film, Nope, came out in July 2022, which means Universal assigning a 2024 release date was always speculative. It was just something to mark on the calendar just in case, right? But when it became clear that the film wasn't going to be ready, Universal moved it to October 2026, which would be a more realistic timeline if production started soon. But production never started. Right? And in August 2025, Universal just removed the movie from the slate altogether. Now, what most people overlooked is that this is exactly when Peele's 5-year deal with Universal would have ended. The thing to remember about his contract is that back in October 2019, Jordan Peele signed a 5-year first look deal with Universal, and that meant his company, Monkeypaw Productions, would develop film and TV projects under Universal's umbrella. In return, Universal got the first opportunity to finance and release his next 2 films or TV projects, however the details laid it out. But 5 years in is 5 years in. See, and by late 2024 or early 2025, unless a new deal was signed, that contract would have expired. And if the next movie wasn't already in production, Universal had no reason to keep it on the schedule because, well, they couldn't guarantee it. The thing is, this is common. Studios remove undated projects all the time when development outpaces the deal. And that's what's likely happened here. Universal didn't drop Jordan Peele. They just let the placeholder lapse once they no longer had the rights to promise it. I mean, I doubt there was any drama. It's really just paperwork. But now comes the twist. So here's what's likely happening behind the curtain. If the Universal deal is over and no other deal has been publicly announced, then Jordan Peele is technically a free agent. That means his next movie can go anywhere. And in 2025, there's no shortage of buyers. Netflix is still paying out 9-figure checks to get exclusive film packages. Amazon is building out theatrical horror. A24 just made its biggest slate acquisition ever and wants prestige thrillers. Even Apple has started pushing for more theatrical first directors, and Peele has something none of them can buy off a shelf. A 3-for-3 track record. Now, regardless of whether I thought Us and Nope were mid, Get Out, Us, and Nope were all profitable, and all 3 were original. If he's got even a partial script or concept locked, that package can move quickly. So even without a deal in place, development doesn't stop. It just gets a new destination. So the disappearance from Universal's schedule isn't the end of the movie. It might be the beginning of a bidding war. Now, what we do know is that Jordan Peele is still developing. I mean, that much is clear. So behind the scenes, he's doing it quietly and professionally, which is exactly how Jordan Peele has been known to work. See, this was never about Jordan Peele versus Robert Eggers, right? This wasn't about being replaced or pushed aside. This was a slow burn development timeline intersecting with an expiring studio deal. That's it. Peele's movie didn't vanish because of failure. It vanished because it wasn't locked in. And when a project misses its window, the studio calendar moves on. Now, Peele might be fielding offers, he might be finalizing a new deal, or he might still be building the script. Either way, this isn't over. Because here's the real twist. We've seen this pattern before. Big director, high demand, deal expires, and then boom. A surprise announcement, a stacked cast, and a film that hits harder because it wasn't overhyped in advance. But the real question is, what kind of story do you think Jordan Peele's been quietly building all this time? Let me know in the comments, and for more industry insights, check out this video right here.